Hi everyone. Happy February. Welcome to Stamp It Your Way with Betsy Kreider and my sidekick, Mary Ellen Stites. I am Be Creative Stamping and she is Create with M.E. We are here to do some stamping with you tonight, right?
Yes, I can't wait. It's my favorite time of the month.
Yay. That sounded really weird, but we're just going to skip right over that.
Well, we're old now, so it has a
We're
whole
old,
different
yeah. We can.
application. It has a whole different
Time of the month is
application.
a different thing now, right?
Totally different. Did we just
February. How
say
about
that?
Absolutely, because we're goofballs and everybody loves us. So it's February. I can't believe February has gone so fast. It's already the end of February. I don't even know where the month went. It feels like it's the beginning of the month to me. Happy month of love, right?
Yes, it's Love-uary.
Love
Well,
you, Ari.
now you know.
That's
So
cute.
you don't know that term because that's a Hallmark term, and I know you're not a Hallmark person, but
No,
I'm a total Hallmark person. So February is Love-uary, so that's where that comes from, or at least in my world. So you would have
yeah, I
no
was
idea.
at the doctor's office. I was at the doctor's office the other day and they had the Hallmark channel on. I had to wait in the hallway. I just couldn't even wait in the couldn't
Oh,
even wait in the waiting room. It was so painful.
oh my goodness.
Cannot do it. We are here to stamp with you. If you joined us last month, we were going to be showing you today the heartfelt hexagon. That was our goal this month, but we had to pivot quickly. Stampin' Up, there was some little back order issues. The hexagon punch is currently unavailable. It is coming back, thankfully, but
Yeah.
not until towards the end of April. So we decided to pivot and move on to a different product, which Mary Ellen's going to show you here in a second. But I wanted to talk about that this is celebration, and that's one of the great things about it. We were able to pivot and we're showing off some celebration paper. And Mary Ellen, did you know that February 1st was my anniversary?
Yes, I did know that, but
15 years.
I'm so
15.
excited for you. That is so awesome. Did you ever think that you would be doing this, be a Stampin' Up demonstrator 15 years later when you signed up?
I did not. So had no clue, right? Thought,
Yeah,
oh,
me.
I'm just signing up for the discount. I'm just going to sign up for the discount. I'm just going to sign up and I want the product and I love everything I see and I want it all. And why not get a discount? And here we are 15 years later. It's
Yeah,
crazy,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
You have an anniversary
Exactly.
coming up too, right? In March?
Next month, yep, next month I celebrate 21 years as a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm just like you. I was telling someone my story. I just signed up for the discount and decided to invite all my friends over, and 3 people wanted to have a party, and I was like, "Oh no, what have I done?" And my first party was $1,000, and I'm like, "Okay, this is a thing." So here I am 21 years later. And you know what, Betsy? If nothing else, it keeps me creative. I've met wonderful friends just like you. And
Mhm.
that's what it's all about, relationships, building relationships and meeting new people. And I love it. And
I, yeah,
staying creative,
I
having a creative outlet.
Exactly. I say that all the time. It is this demonstrator, this being a Stampin' Up demonstrator is so not about the stamps, the ink, or the paper. It has
Yeah.
nothing to do with that. The reason I'm a demonstrator at this point in my life has nothing to do with the stamps, ink, or the paper. It has to do with the relationships that I've built and the family that I've created and this family that I've become a part of. And I can't imagine not having that in my life now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I,
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so crazy. And celebration really is the best time to sign up. We both signed up during celebration. Celebration used to be a 3 month. Now it's only the two. So it's January and February, and it really is the best time to sign up because you get the best deal. You've got two different options to choose from that glass mat, which is beyond yummy. Or if you don't necessarily need the glass mat or might already have something else, there is more free product. And who doesn't love more free product?
Yeah, exactly
Yeah.
right. And the time is a ticking. So this is
Yes.
absolutely the best time. You've
Yep.
only
We
got
are
a
at the
few
end of
days.
February, just a couple
Yep.
more days left.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. So
Absolutely. Will you? You're ready to stamp? You ready to
I'm
get some
ready
stamping
to
in?
stamp. I'm ready to show product and stamp some beautiful cards, or at least I hope you guys think they're beautiful.
These are, I'm actually very happy with them because this was a stamp set I wasn't too sure about in the beginning, but you always convince me to reach out of my comfort zone, so it's all good.
I've done
Um,
that, I think, the last 3 months to you, and I'm so sorry, but I'm glad because honestly, I've been stamping with this and I can't get enough of it. I was sold right from the beginning, of course, and you'll see why, but now I'm just, it's lovely. It's just
It is
lovely.
very
Make
lovely.
beautiful cards.
It is very
It,
pretty. The more I use it, the more I like it. And the more I'm like, oh, I could do that with it and I could do that with it.
yes,
So
yeah, exactly.
so yeah, we had to pivot. We're moving off from the heartfelt hexagons and we're moving over to the Everyday Details bundle. And I'm going to switch it over to Mary Ellen. Do you want to go to your desktop and
Yes,
show everybody what they're getting this month?
you betcha. Here is the
Sure.
bundle. Everyday Details. It is a line stamp, so there's coloring if you want there to be, but I think we're both going to show a way that we don't have to do a lot of coloring. So it is very versatile. And then the dies are surprisingly not what you might think. So they're super gorgeous. They are frames. There is rectangles and circles and then some stitch frames. So when I say stitched, I mean there's dots around all of them. And then the smallest is a stitch frame here and the smallest is a stitch frame circle. So super, super versatile. And we're going to show you a lot of uses for those. Then we've included a pack of the Flight and Airy. This is a celebration offering this month. And of course, it's gorgeous. I love it because it's got birds. But let
I
me just
love
go
this
through.
paper. It is
Yeah,
so pretty.
yeah.
It's so pretty.
It is really, I mean, look, I mean, come on.
It's so
It's gorgeous.
soft. Those
It's
little
soft
birdies are so
and
cute.
lovely. But then you've got a pattern like that. It's so versatile. I'm just going to go flip them over. I should have had them flipped over for you already. I love
I,
this
I
paper. It's
think that
pretty
bottom
blue.
one's my favorite. I think that one with the little pink bellies. I think that
Yeah,
one's my
this one.
favorite.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
super, super cute. And then there's a pink and a purple, and then this one's just a pink floral. I think that's the last one, and then these birds. So I've had a lot of fun creating with it. So let's just go ahead and get started. I'm going to start on my first card here, and it's a fun fold. This is I'm going to call this an interlocking circle because how it opens up is like this, and then this opens up like that. So it looks difficult, but I'm going to show you today that it's not difficult. So if this is your first time watching Stamp It Your Way, the one thing that we like to stress is that it's called Stamp It Your Way. So it's super important that you understand that you can stamp this your way. So if you don't have the everyday details, or if we kind of threw you for a loop on that one, there's any image that can go in here. This can be used. We want you to look at your cards in a different way. So even though we're using everyday details here, you can keep the same template, the same tutorial that we've given you, and you can use this on other cards. Super, super cute. So let me go
Cute.
ahead and tell you what you're going to get in your packet. I'm going to keep the card right there. So in the packet, you're going to get you're going to have a piece that is 8.5 by 5.5. That's your card base. Then you're going to have a piece of, this is a Lost Lagoon pool party that is 8 by 5.25. So just a 1/4 inch smaller. You're going to have a scrap of white that you're going to die cut. I did a die cut for you in advance. You're just going to get a piece to die cut, but I want to show you 2 different techniques on coloring that. Designer series paper, you're going to cut a piece that is 2 inches by 5.25, and then a strip of pool party for your greeting on the front. So let's get started with our scoring, and I'm going to bring in my my paper trimmer, which has a scoring blade. I'm going to try to get it up. Sometimes I have trouble. I'm going to try to get it up where you can see it. So let me know, Betsy, if I get off camera. So I'm going to go to 4.25, and it's super important. Normally, I just fold. You'll see me. I just fold my card in half. This time, it's very important that you go ahead and score it because I need to see that line right there. Let me get it there. Can you see it there?
I
I
can
need to
see
be
that.
able to
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah, that looks good.
Though the reason I need to be able to see that is because I've got to lay my dies down, and I'm going to reach over here and grab them, bring them in. So I've got to be able to know where my center line is so that I can bring in my dies and lay one right here the point is about 1/4 of an inch from that line. And then this is our circle. And you can put this anywhere. This could be totally subjective, anywhere on this line. And I go about 1/4 of an inch in, and I usually go a little bit north of center. So I'm going to cut it right there. Now I've done this in advance because no one wants to see me poke all those little holes out, and you will have that. So when you get it done in the Big Shot or in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, it's going to look just like this. It's got a super cute pattern. See, those all see-through. You can see it. Super, super pretty. Now you can go ahead and you either want to go ahead and score it again because the machine kind of flattens it out, or in this case, it's still pretty, I can still pretty much tell where it's at. So then you want to give it a good crease just like that. Okay. Now you want to bring in your smaller piece, and let me bring in that scoring cutter again. And you're going to score this at 2 inches, and then you're going to score it at 4 inches. Okay. I think I'm done with that now. And then we're going to fold that in half, and we're going to fold this one back on itself, just like this. So it's going to go like that. Our folded piece is actually going to be on the right. So it's a little contrary to what you would normally think. But this piece is going to go inside here. So we can go ahead and take our designer series paper and adhere that. Let me bring in my seal. And I can go ahead and adhere that right down. It's going to cover that whole piece. Just making sure. I think I put my birds upside down, but it's okay.
I think it's all right. The birds are. There's birds. Oh, there are birds on that paper. I couldn't even tell. I just thought they were all greens.
Yeah, that's right. It's just green. No, yeah, there's little birds there. Yeah.
Your little birds can be upside down. It's perfectly fine. This is Stamp It Your Way. We stamp with birds upside down. This is perfect. I love it.
I still have to stamp on the inside of my card, but I'm going to take my chances, and I'm just going to put that together and hope it's okay. Okay, just like that. So then you're going to take your piece of white. Now, I told you that there's 2 ways to do this. So you're going to bring in some Pool Party ink and a blending brush. And remember, we love the glass mat because we can get some color off of there. Now, I found that if I was on this circle, which is the way I'm going to do it because I've already got it, it's a little hard. I'm getting my fingers all dirty. It's a little hard. So I recommend that you go ahead and do it on your paper just like that, and then run your die, put your die on there, and then cut it. But I'm going to do it this way because I've already got it. So all I want is a little color right in the center of my circle, just like that. And then I'm going to bring in my pecan pie and my little bird nest.
I love how you use the glass mat to like kind of get that excess ink off, right? It's so easy to use that glass mat.
Right here, and I'm going to have a little ink right here, and I'll show you what I do. So by stamping that, look at how
my gosh, look at that.
Right? So pretty. So before I move on, I'm going to bring in my little chamois because I want to get rid of the ink. So I've got some little ink here where I've stamped off, and then I've got my ink there. So I'm going to quickly wipe that so that I don't have ink everywhere. But look how pretty that is. That you don't really notice it in the around in the bird nest, but oh, how that makes that pop. So if you don't want to do it that way, you could go ahead and use your blends and color, but this is a super easy way to make that nest pop.
Very easy. Oh my gosh. I love that idea.
It's as simple as just popping that in there. And so I found it's best for me anyway to take my liquid adhesive, and I'm going to put my liquid adhesive right here on this paper. And that way I know that I'm not worried about here, am I going to get it too far? And then just sitting my nest right in like that, pressing for just a second. So now I've got my interlocking circle. See how fast that's going together?
Cute.
So fast. Now I've got to find in all my mess here, I've lost my little, hold on just a minute. Here
So
it
it's
is.
the same die, just to mention
Same
this. It's
exact
the
die.
same die that you did on the front that
Yes.
also popped out that center. So when you're die
Yeah.
cutting, you can either have the negative or the inside, right?
Yes, so the inside that you remove, which is this piece here, save that for your next project. You know, go with a lighter color card and have do an interlocking circle. I wanted to have white, something that really popped. So it actually cuts out, but it also does the outer edge. So you've got that framed look. So gorgeous. So now you're going to bring in your Stampin' Right marker, and you're going to we're omitting the bottom line, and all I want to do is stamp the words overjoyed for you.
Can you bring that up just a little bit? There you go. Ah, now I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and I'm just using the side of my marker. I don't want to use the tip. Using the side, I'm not destroying it, and I'm just getting plenty of ink on there. I'm doing it a little extra just for you. So now I'm going to huff on it. That means I'm just breathing on it, and then I'm going to pray that I get it. Am I on the camera?
You are good. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to try to stamp it on the image. It is what it is because this is the only piece of paper I have. Okay, it's not bad.
Well, then it's going to be perfect no matter what.
It's going to be perfect no matter what. That's right. And then I just like to do a little snip on the ends, just like that. And I want that to pop up on my card. I want something to be popped up. So I'm going to use a couple dimensionals. Okay. Oh, before I do that, I'm so sorry. Thank you.
I was going to say, do you have splatter? I
do
love
have a little
splatter.
splatter. Thank you for that. So
I am such a splatter girl. I love to add splatter to cards. It is like addicting.
I do too. So look at this card right here. It does. It
I
has
love
a
it.
little
It
bit,
just
just a
gives it that
little bit, because
grungy kind of look.
little robin eggs have that little splatter, and you could even go back in and splatter a little. I'm going to pull that part out, and I can just hold my front just like this. Now, I like to do it. You've got to be really careful when you're using your blends. You can use the tip of your brush end, this brush end here, and your cap very carefully. And I say this cautiously. Do it very lightly. It doesn't take much, and you'll see the splatters. Can you see them?
And you could do that with either marker. So you could do that with the Stampin' Right or the blends. Either one works.
I'm doing it very, very gently. I do not want to ruin my tip. Okay. You could go in with Lost Lagoon, which is what I did. You could use Pretty Peacock. I'm closing this now. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I'm done with this. So yes, so splatter. Thank you for that. So now we can go put our greeting on. And then you're going to bring in your rainbow dots, and I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool, and I'm going to use rainbow dots just to finish off my card. I've got one sneaking off right here. And then let's go ahead and use a big one right down here. So there's the first card. It's not hard. It looks hard. Oh, I have to do that. You would like to have a greeting on the inside, probably. Let me go ahead and clean this one with my chamois. And then we're just going to use that marker and do the bottom line.
Ah, smart.
So we're taking the greeting and we're splitting it in half so that we can have part of it on the inside and part of it on the outside.
It's a great way to do it.
So I'm overjoyed for you in this new journey. And
now, for those that don't know this, is there a reason why you use your Stampin' Right marker to color your stamp versus your Stampin' Blends?
Yeah, definitely. So Stampin' Right marker is water-based, and so when I color it on my red rubber, then I can easily clean it off on here. if you think about your Stampin' Blends, which are alcohol based, we can use these markers on items such as glass or something, and then it will stay put. So if I took this marker and put it on my red rubber, all I'm doing for that is coloring my red rubber. That would not stamp off at all. So I would just be changing my red rubber to Lost Lagoon rubber. So we want to avoid the Stampin' Blend, which is an alcohol-based marker. It's great for blending on paper, but not for direct to rubber. We definitely want to use a water-based marker, and then rehydrating it with our Huff allows it to just get that extra little zip when we go to stamp. So
Keeps
thank you.
the ink a little wet and ready to go and direct to your paper.
Right.
Excellent tip. Yeah, good
That's
reminder.
Right. Okay, let's do our second card, and it's this cute little pocket card using the designer series paper. And then we're going to use this cute little teacup and make this into a little surprise.
Oh, that's my
Yeah,
favorite tea right there. That's my
so
favorite.
I know, peppermint. I thought of you actually when I was doing this. So we did not include a tea bag. You can put anything you want in there. Maybe you want to have a little candy or something like that. A little Ghirardelli would fit in there. But I thought with the teacup, this would be super cute. But you might change this out sometime, and you might have the nest, or you might do another image and then a little candy or something. So we wanted to give you the just the idea of making a little pouch out of designer series paper, and it's super, super fun. So I do have some tea here because I'm going to show you how to attach it. And so what you're going to get is you're going to get a piece of layer to go inside your packet. You're going to have a designer series paper. I'm using this pecan pie, and then backing, which is a quarter sheet of cardstock, using crumb cake in this case, so 5.5 by 4.25. So you're going to take your designer series paper and you're going to fold it in half. The hardest part of this is knowing if you've got directional paper. So you're going to want in this case, I'm using birds. I want to make sure my birds aren't upside down like they were on the other cards. So I need to watch my direction. Now I've pre-scored that. I've pre-scored this for you. And I made sure, because I've done it wrong, and I just made sure you're going to fold back about 1.25 inches. And I just wanted to make sure that I didn't on camera have my birds upside down. I guess I should have been more careful on the first one, Betsy.
Nope, I like the upside down birds. I made a card in front of a whole bunch of people the other day, did a make and take, and didn't I put my inside not only backwards but upside down? It was like
you make me feel
complete
so much.
card. Yep. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going with it. Somebody will get that card.
This card really does come together very quickly, and so you can spend as much time as you want coloring on this one because the card comes together very quickly. So you're just going to need a little bit of wavy trim, and 6 or 7 inches to wrap around, and the trim is what holds your pocket together. I tried to put a little bit of glue down here. It's fine, except what happens is you just lose the amount of card you can have. So I decided that I just would not worry about it because everything pretty much stays put anyway. Whoops. Hold on. So having just the twine works just fine to keep everything in the pocket.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea, just to have that just holding it closed.
When you do the glue, then this part of your pocket, doesn't fit. It just doesn't. It just gets a little. You have to keep going narrower and narrower, and so just having this is just perfectly fine. So we'll go ahead and adhere this designer series paper to the backing. Like I said, that's just 1/4 sheet of cardstock. So keep that in mind when you're doing it. It goes far. And this paper is stuff that we've earned for free for celebration. So we've given the Stamp It Your Way people a whole package. But if you've got this paper, use it. Please use it. It's just wonderful.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
So let's go ahead and stamp our greeting on the top of this. And this one, we are also going to split the greeting. You make every day a little brighter, but this time, instead of using my marker, I'm going to do it a little different because this is a long stamp. I can go ahead and use my pad because it's a raised pad. I can stamp, and I probably should put it down because if I put it in my hand, I can cut that in half pretty easily. Turn it around and notice I didn't catch the A. So you make every day. And I'm going to start it right there because it's just a little long. Now I'm going to clean it. So did you notice the color I'm using is kind of a little outside of what you would think of for this bundle, but this is Orchid Oasis, and this Orchid Oasis just really makes those birds pop, I found.
It
So
does, yeah. It's and with the pecan, I like it with the pecan,
Yeah.
with the brown and the bright blue. It's very pretty.
It's super gorgeous. So then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to drop it down just a little, and I'm going to put a little brighter right there.
Cute.
And so now I can take my pool party and just accent it with this. That's a fun little stamp that mimics the one of the dies in the set. And I think you use it when you do your
I
card.
do. I'm using that on one of mine. Yeah.
Super cute, super easy. Now is where you can go ahead and you can add your, if you want to add your tea bag, I've got this little Yogi Calming tea. Then you're going to put it on your layer, just like that. Now I'm ready to pop it into my packet. Just
Cute.
like that, my little pouch, just like that. So I've got You Make Every Day a Little Brighter right on the front. I've got room that I can sign my name and it gets a little hidden. And then I've got a little surprise in there. So I've pre-cut out the teacup for you. I'm just going to go ahead and pop everything up. So I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. I'm going to pop up my background. I just pre-cut this circle. You're going to cut it out of a little Orchid Oasis. And then I'm going to quickly color, hopefully, bring in my blends. I've got Crumb Cake, and I've got Lost Lagoon, and I've got Fresh Freesia. Those are the colors that I'm using. So I'm going to start by coloring my background of my teacup in Crumb Cake. And I'm going very quickly. As you'll notice, I'm not being particular. I'm going to go around the handle with the fine tip because I notice when I use if I use the brush tip, sometimes I go a little wonky. And then I'm going to bring in my highlights, which would be under the leaf, where the leaf shadow is, some of these natural highlights that the artists have put in, just like that. And then this little band right here. And then, of course, the back and inside of my cup. I can color that in pretty solid because we know that's going to be dark. And then I'll come back with my light and just blend that out.
It may look dark too whenever you first do it because the ink is kind of wet, but it does dry a little bit lighter. Yes, so as you're working with it, sometimes I find too, if I just kind of step away for just a second, let it kind of absorb in a little bit, and then I come back and shade a little bit more.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So then my leaves are Lost Lagoon. That just matches the theme of the paper. I'm going to bring in the dark underneath the flowers. I'm just telling you this because sometimes people aren't sure, like, where's my shadows? And so I sometimes won't even go back. If I shadow under the flower, I just leave it the way it is. I just leave that. And then I'm going to finish with my Fresh Freesia, which is a theme in the paper. And then I like to just come in and you can go ahead and stripe it like this, or you can just make a big circle like that. It's both are very effective. So I'm done with those. And I'm going to finish it out with a little Fresh Freesia
rainbow dot.
Rainbow dot. I was looking for my, whoops, got that one flipped over. So how about
there you
that?
go.
Perfect.
Works for you. It's working with you.
Work. Yeah, that's right. And then pop it up with a couple of dimensionals, just like that. Oh, I lost one. Maybe that's it. Oh, got it on my finger. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Just so pretty.
Cute.
I mean, who wouldn't love to get a little packet in the mail or even handed to you, let's say for your birthday or for a celebration, or a little thing that says, you make every day a little brighter. And I just want to thank you for that. So,
Cute. Are you, do we give envelopes with this? I can't remember.
yes, envelopes. Yeah.
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 Okay.
It's an envelope. Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it fits perfectly in an envelope. You may, if you, some tea bags are bigger than others. If you've got a Ghirardelli, then you're going to want to definitely put extra postage.
Postage on it. Yeah.
They're not as big, but I would recommend the extra ounce. Yeah. So,
Excellent.
so there's
Yay.
my 2 projects.
Pretty.
Everyday details.
I love your cards so much. And this set is really pretty. I mean, with the images, it's just like you have these 3 different images and the words. I love the mixed fonts of the words. It's really cute, right?
I do too. That's one of my favorite things is when we have a mixed font.
So the dies, you've seen those. For this one, so for my card, I'm going to bring it in here quickly. So this is my card, my first card.
That
You
card's a
need
wow. Just
this
just
die.
by the way, that card's a wow. I love that card. I
Isn't
love
it?
everything about that card.
Me
Gorgeous.
too. It's wow, it's the pool party's like becoming one of my go-to colors. I do use
Right.
pool party a lot.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, you're gonna need this image, you're gonna need these words, and then I use this die to cut the front, right? And I also use one of the small circle die for here to create that image. So in your packet, we have, of course, the envelope. We've got our card base. We have got 2 pieces that are a full quarter sheet. So this is 5.5 by 4.25. And what I did, let me slide that back a little bit. Excuse me. What I did was I embossed mine. Can you see that?
Yes.
So I embossed mine, and I'm using the softly sophisticated, which is one of the free celebration items. When you if you do $100 order, you get there are different levels during celebration, and this is one of the $100 level 2 items where you get the stamp set and the embossing folder with it. And this embossing folder is really pretty. I really like the way it looks. So that's what I use, but if you don't have that, you can use any embossing folder that you have at home. The other thing to remember too is that you can use either side. So this side has almost like a raised like braille kind of feel to it, raised dots, and this side is more indented in. So I like the indent going down, but you can choose either one that you like. There's also going to be a piece of pool party that you're going to cut that's going to be for the front. Now, when you put your die on there, you're going to run your die through and you'll end up with that negative piece. So again, you can use this, save this, and use this for something else, because when you die cut it, you'll get this, right? So you'll get the piece that you're going to use for your card, but then you also get a piece that, don't throw that away. You can use that for something else, right?
Yeah. The 2 for 1.
2 for 1, you got it. There's a piece of cardstock in there where you're going to use that to die cut your circles for your greeting. I've already done that. And then there's a piece for the inside. Well, here's a funny story. So, Mary Ellen, I think most people know at this point that I'm not an 8s girl. I'm just not. Drives me kind of crazy when we do the 8s, right? But this one, it's an 8s. So I don't know. Can you see that these are slightly different?
Oh gosh, yes.
Just slightly.
What have
So I
you
thought to
done to us?
myself, this one on the front needs to be like 4 7/8. But then I thought, oh, well, my inside needs to be my, regular 4 and, 3 7/8 versus 4. And I thought, oh, if I have to send out 2 different measurements like that, Mary Ellen's going to beat me. So I
Good
decided
thing
that
you live far away.
I caught myself beforehand, and I decided that after the fact they would all be the same size. So you're
Brilliant. You're
getting
so smart.
you're getting 4 in your packet that are all the same size, instead of making you cut 2 different ones and confusing you to know which one's going where. So this is the 7/8 that's not only going to be on the front, and one for your inside as well. All right. So what we're going to do here is we are going to fold this guy in half. Get our foam folder. I've got my piece that is a quarter sheet, and I'm going to add this to my card front. And this is one of these things that I don't do very often, but I see it done by others, where it is using a full sheet to cover the front. Sometimes I only do, like I usually leave a border. I don't think about covering the entire front of my card. But it looks nice when you do, right? To not have a border at all on there.
Yeah.
Right? So a quarter sheet. I like the liquid glue on this too, because it allows me to wiggle it into place just a little bit if I find that I'm off. But there's my card. And then here is my piece that I've die cut already. And I'm going to bring in one of the pieces of white. And what I did was I just kind of laid those together. I didn't adhere them yet. I just put them together so I could see the border. And I'm going to stamp with those together. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my floral image. Be a little careful with that area right in the part with the pot or the vase. Be careful there, because if you press too hard, if you've got ink in there, it will carry over to your paper. Ask me how I know.
I did the same thing.
I'm going to center that, and I'm going to stamp. I'm just using Memento. There we go. Good job. Good job. I pat myself on the back.
Perfect.
Perfect, right? By just lining them up, I can see exactly where to stamp without having to adhere it down yet, okay? While I'm going to go ahead and stamp my inside piece. And I thought it would be fun just to stamp part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to have it kind of peeking out off from the side. I like that look. If you don't, please feel free to change it. This is Stamp It Your Way. You could just stamp the flowers, by the way. You wouldn't even need to stamp the whole thing. But I just don't like that side look. To have just part of it peeking out. And I did the same thing then with my envelope, and I just did the opposite side. So what I did was I inked one more time. And this side, I went to the left side of my envelope and I did part of it. Cute, right?
Yeah.
So that now that's my inside and my envelope. Look, they match.
Yeah, it's cute.
Cute, right? Okay, so coloring wise, this is pretty easy. I am using Flirty Flamingo. I'm using Pool Party. I'm using Lemon Lime Twist. And this little mat just keeps trying to run away from me. I also bring in my color lifter. I am a big fan of the color lifter. When it comes to shading, I'm sometimes not the greatest on the shading, and the color lifter is like my backup tool to help me do that shading that I might not be able to do. So I'm going to start with the leaves first, and I'm using the Lemon Lime Twist, and I am coloring in. I tend to like the little nubby end just a little bit more than the brush end. I don't know why.
Yeah, I use a nib end a lot more, but if it's a large area, then I'll go to the brush. But normally I use a nib too.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you to use a color lifter, because I don't use a color lifter much.
I do like the color lifter. I use it quite a bit. So I went in with the light, and then I'm going to go with the dark. And this is super easy. All I'm doing is the line that goes right down the center of those leaves. I'm just drawing right on that line. It's going to naturally add the shading to it. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just adding a line right down the center of those leaves. Easy. Then I'm going to come in with my petal pink. Excuse me. I am a little froggy this evening. I'm going to do my petal pink. I'm sorry, Flirty Flamingo, not petal pink. Flirty Flamingo. Coloring in these little guys. And I tend not to color straight to the line either, because it will bleed a little bit for you. So you don't have to color right on that line. You can actually go a little bit around it. Plus, when you add your shading later, it might start to bleed a little bit more. So For this one, I'm just adding some lines in the center here. Adding a little dot to the center of those little guys. And there are my flowers. Super easy, super fast. Now, the little pot, I am going to go ahead and use the brush end on this one. And I'm using Pool Party. Oops, I forgot a couple little stems there. I'll come back and grab those. So I'm going to color this in. And I always go light, dark, light. So I always add my light where I want it to go first.
That's what I do too. Light, dark, light.
Light, dark, light, right? Like, sometimes it depends
Makes
on the
most
image too that I'm doing. If it's really small, I might just throw the dark in there real quick, but
yeah.
yeah. All right, so here is your, this is the dark Pool Party. So I'm going to do my inside of my pot. I'm going to do the top layer here. I'm going to do this side. All right. And I'm going to do the bottom. So I'm just doing like a stripe right down on that side. So I'm imagining, they say to talk about like your light. Where's your light coming from? So I'm going to pretend my light's coming from this end. Now I'm going to now blend that in right where that is. All right. And if I feel like, oh, you know what? I went too far. I didn't get the shading that I wanted or the white area in the middle as much as I wanted. So this is where I use my color lifter to come back in. So here I'm using the brush and all I'm doing is just kind of brushing that through that middle. And you can't see it right away. That's where I say, give it a second or two and you'll start to see that lighten up right there in the center and it'll get a little lighter. I'm going to set that aside while that dries.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'll kind of see that whenever it dries up a little bit, it'll lighten up in the center. I'm going to stamp my greeting. Wishing you so much joy on this special day. There we go. Perfect, perfect, perfect.
That greeting would be
Now,
perfect for so many occasions. I'm just
right,
thinking.
exactly. I was just thinking that. It's just like this would be a pretty, this would be a pretty like bridal shower card,
Right. Yeah, that's
right?
exactly what I was thinking. Bridal shower, but I mean birthday, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
bridal shower or any shower would be
Mm-hmm.
so perfect.
Yep, exactly. I have the gold and silver twine. I'm going to go ahead and do my little bow trim, I guess they call it trim. I'm going to do my silver trim bow here. There we go. Pretty. And I'm going to start to put this card together. Now you could color, whoops. Well, I just got something on there, ink on there, I guess. What you could color this in. That's what I did on the inside here. But if you didn't want to color it, or if you just wanted to have like an accent color, this is a fun way to do it too. And I'm going to show this a little bit in the next card that I do as well. Let's say you just want to have a little bit of an accent color. Maybe you don't color the whole thing. Maybe you just color part of it.
That's fun.
Yeah. The next one I'm going to do that a lot with just a little bit of an accent color. This little guy is going to go in the inside. There we go. And you could do the same thing with your envelope. Now, if I'm going to do a lot of coloring on my envelope, I might put a piece of paper down inside because when you do color with your blends, it does bleed through.
Right.
So if you're coloring your envelope with blends, it might bleed through to the back. So make sure you put like a piece of scrap paper or something inside when you go to color your envelope if you're doing that. Okay. Can you see that that's lightened up a little bit?
I think
I
you
can come
can.
back in and lighten it a little bit more. Let me kind of take it off camera here for a second. Let me wave it around and see if I can get that to dry a little faster. But you see it now? It doesn't show as well on camera, but you can see here that it's got more of like a lighter shade in the center.
Sure. Yes, you can.
Right? Yep, a little bit lighter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now adhere this piece here. And this is a great one for when you have those little pieces of dimensional along the edges. When you have a thin border like this, this is a great way of using up these little edges. think that'll fit up there. Let's see. Oh, that one's a little too thick. Let me put another one. Set down the bottom. Very easy to put together. And then this, I'm gonna have to lean over this here for a second. I tend to put my fingers like on either side of it like this. That way then when I put it down, I can kind of rest it on my fingers without actually having, I'm gonna have to stand up. I'm gonna stand up to see that. Go down over to get your layers. There we go. Perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then this goes on my card front. My greeting is going to sit down here on this bottom corner. So instead of me adding any kind of dimensionals or not sure where to glue it, I'm just going to add it right here. Kind of like what you did, adding the glue right in that opening.
Yeah.
Here I can just add the glue right into that corner and then add my greeting there, right?
Yeah.
And then I have a mini glue dot. I'm going to just kind of roll that up a little bit and put that right here because that's where I'm going to want my twine to go. And you could put it anywhere because I actually thought that it might be cute. Let me just see. I thought it might even be cute up here.
Sure.
Right? So you could put it anywhere that you wanted to. You wouldn't have to necessarily have it on the greeting, so you can kind of see the difference.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Turn that up a little. So you can make it, put it wherever you want.
I like it. I like them
No
both.
right way or wrong way to do that. And then the little rainbow guys, I did put a little flirty flamingo. I did that right in the center of the large flower. Now you could do a different color if you want to do. You could do a pool party, make it just slightly different. But I did a pool party, a little flirty flamingo right there in the center. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, nice.
Easy too, right?
It seemed like it.
Yeah, it wasn't hard. Yep, just more of the coloring. I love the
Well, I
color.
love the
Colors,
color, so
yeah, color's one of my favorite things to do. Okay, there's number one. All right, number two is a little involved and actually uses all of the images that are in this pack. So it is, I thought this was super cute. It is like a little pocket, and inside this pocket are going to be, and only because it'll drive me crazy, I am one of those that has to have a clean slate.
me too.
So it has a little pocket, and then it has 3 4x4 little gift cards, tagged little card set that comes in this little pocket that it's going to hold them. So 3 4x4s. We don't have envelopes for these, but I did see that you can buy envelopes online that would fit a 4x4. But I thought these were cute to just like put in a little gift bag. If you were giving a gift to someone, it'd just be cute to have this just down inside the bag for them. It's just a really nice little cute gift set to give to somebody, little card set. So it's got a couple pieces here. So let me get this all up here. All right, so we're using thick basic white, and you have the 3 card bases for your cards, right? So I'm going to do one of them here, and I'm going to fold these. I'm going to fold these in half. All right, so I'm going to do this one. This one. So these are 8x4. 8x4, so that they create a 4x4 card. And you could change the size up, by the way. If you did 3x3, now these images needed the 4x4 size, but if you did 3x3, we sell 3x3, it's like 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 envelopes that fit a 3x3 piece of paper. All right, in your packet also are going to be Lots of little lemon lolly. Lemon lolly is one of my favorite new colors. This is a very pretty yellow. Lemon lolly. And it is, you're going to have 3 of these for the fronts. And then you're going to have 3 of these for the insides as well, for the matching insides, right? So these 3 that you have for the fronts, these were what Mary Ellen were talking about earlier about making that. She used this one to make like that X mark down the front. I'm going to use these smaller ones. And what I want to do is put it on either side like that. And on the 3 that are going to be on the front, I'm going to run those through my die cutting machine to get that bordered edge on each of those 3 pieces so that when it comes out, this is what I have. You see that?
That's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little stitching, almost like a stitching mark on the end, which that would be really cute. If you took like linen thread or you took white baker's twine and you kind of stitched through those would be pretty too.
Yeah, it would.
This is when I learned that I need to invest in one of those little desktop vacuum cleaners. Those little dots everywhere, but they were totally cute, right? All right. And then I used, let me bring those dies back in here. Okay. So then what you have you'll have the 3 pieces that are not die cut. Those will be for your insides, right? And there's matching white to go with those to go for the insides. And then I have I don't have the actual pieces here, but you'll get them in your pack. If you got the packet, you got them. But there'll be paper for you to be able to stamp and die cut your 3 different images. And I'm using 3 different sizes here. I'm using the small die, I'm using the largest die, and then I'm using the rectangle, right? So to cut out these images, and you'll have white paper to be able to do that. All right. So that you get these from the fronts. The last thing we have is we have some designer series paper here. And we'll get to the envelope here in a second to create that pocket. We have some designer series paper. All right. And they're different sizes. So 2 of them are the same. This one is just slightly larger, only because this takes up a larger amount of real estate on your card front. So they kind of go like this. Okay. So you can see which ones go where. All right. Let's go ahead and start to adhere these guys. Actually, let's color first quickly. This is what I was talking about earlier, and I'm just using Lemon Lolly and Bubble Bath. Excuse me. I'm using Lemon Lolly and Bubble Bath, and it's the same kind of thing that I was just talking about. I don't want to color everything. I just want to have some accents to it. And because the paper that I'm using has the Bubble Bath and the Lemon Lolly, I'm going to add a little bit of each to each card, right? Except for the nest, which I could do with the nest too, I guess. I'm going to go ahead and use the light Lemon Lolly. I love your technique though, but the sponging, that would work perfectly with this. I'm just using blends to color in those little eggs, right? And you could, just to add a little bit of the pink, because I like to add just a little bit, I could come in and just color in the little leaves off the sides. I'm making this up as I go, folks. I did not do this on my original.
Yeah, that's cute.
Right? Just to give a little bit of pink and yellow on each one. So that's got a little pink and yellow. This one, I'm going to color just the large flower.
I'm really liking this idea of just highlighting an element.
Right. Just spotlighting something specific and not giving a huge amount of color, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to color that, add in my dark accents. And because I want a little pink and yellow, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to color these little guys yellow with the lemon. Again, just a little spot of color on each one of those. And then the teacup, the same way. I'm going to go ahead and color in the flower. I think I did, when I did yours, Mary Ellen, I think I did the pink flower, and I think I liked it better. So I'm going to do that here. It's a little different than my example up here, but I think I liked it better with the little pink flower. Right. A little bit of dark. And then I use the dark lemon lolly to add around that little border, accent border around the teacup. And then I also did just the handle. So that again, he's got just that little bit of accent, right? Cute.
Mhm.
Easy. Super easy.
Yeah, anybody could do that.
That is just the coloring and you're done, right? So let's put these together. So I'm going to do each one of these and I'm just adding adhesive down the center. I don't want it on the ends because I don't want it to come through my die cut areas. So I'm just going to enter center here. So let me do all three of these
And the
quickly.
nice thing about these cards is they could open either way, any way, right?
Oh
Bottom.
my, yeah. Yep. So you could have it go this way or go this way. Yep. Either way would work. Ooh, crooked.
That's
There we
the
go.
nice thing about glue, though. Liquid glue.
Yes.
You can
I
wiggle it.
cannot. I very rarely use it like snail or like the seal.
Yeah,
I use it mostly with ribbon, but otherwise it's
I
glue is
agree.
my go-to.
I use liquid glue a lot.
I'm gonna put the designer series paper right down the center. All right. Now these flowers, I do think they have kind of like a direction. So just kind of watch that.
Unlike the birds that
They don't have any birds on it, so I think you're safe.
bye birdie. Bye birdie.
I think you're safe. But most of it's covered up. You see just a little bit of it. So if it was going upside down, I don't think it would matter much. And then I'm going to use this larger one for this one. This one's just a little bit larger because of the vase is going to go on top of it. So it is going to cover up your dots a little bit, but that's okay because you still have that accent off to the sides, right? There we go. Cute. Now these guys are going to go on with dimensionals. So I'm going to put some dimensionals. These cards come together really fast. I'm a dimensional fiend. I am not skimpy on my dimensionals at all. We did a greeting on a make and take the other day, and it was half the size of this, but because I had it holding ribbon down at the same time, I think we put 6 dimensionals on the back. Everybody was like, 6? And I'm like, yep, 6. Do it. All right. You can see me okay, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the center on that one. And then I'm going to bring in my nest and center that one here. And then my little teacup, my pretty little teacup, centered there. So there are my 3 cards. Now what I did for the inside was I did add like just a corner of it, right? So there's like a corner of the little teacup. Here are just the flowers from the vase. And then for the nest, I just did a corner of the nest. So you see a little peek of the eggs coming out. You could stamp just that image. I think Mary Ellen used it earlier, and I think I pulled mine out. This little guy, you could stamp that. Like if I had, hold on, let me grab it. If I had my lemon lolly here, I could easily just stamp these little dots on the inside. I don't think it shows up very well on camera, but you could stamp little dots in there if you didn't want to stamp the images. There's no right way or wrong way. And then just layer this together, and that's going to go in your inside, right? Easy. Okay. The last thing we have then, I did add some of the rainbow items to this, little rainbow gems. Mine are all like in pieces. I've been using them all month they're so pretty and they match everything. They are so pretty. There's the lemon lolly, there's the flamingo, there's the Lost Lagoon, the fresh freesia. There's so many colors here. So I'm going to go ahead and do I think I'm going to do a fresh freesia or yeah, I think this is, oh no, this is a bubble bath. I'm going to use a bubble bath right there in the center of my flower. I'm going to go ahead and use a larger bubble bath one on the center of this flower over here. And then just to make it fun, I'm going to go ahead and, because I've got colors in the designer paper, right? So I have like that fresh freesia look. I have the petal pink. I'm going to go ahead and put in a pink here, maybe a Lost Lagoon there, and then maybe a lemon lolly down here, right? Mix and match it. There's no right way or wrong way to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say our cards are complete. You don't need to see me stamping the insides and all that. So the cards are done. Now what I want to do is I want to work on this little pocket that I'm going to create to hold these cards. And that's just a regular medium basic white envelope. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the flap on this side. Okay. And I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer. Now mine's the older style paper trimmer, but you get the same idea. I'm going to bring in my trimmer and I want to measure this to 2 3/4 from the flap on the right hand side. I want to bring this to 2 3/4. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off this flap. So this flap is going to go away. All right. That's just trash. This now becomes your pocket. All right. But it's too big. Right? It's too big for those 4x4 cards. So we want to make this just a little bit smaller. And to do that, we're going to use our score. And I'm going to score this at 1/2 inch on either side. So I'm going to come in 1/2 inch, score it real well, flip it, and score again. So that I have a 1/2 inch score mark on either side. I'm going to give that a little fold down. Using my bone folder, fold that in, and then I want to seal that. I want to adhere that in. Now you could use tear tape. I'm using a little bit of liquid glue. Come here, get started. There you go. I'm going to use a little liquid glue, but I'm going to hold that. Sheesh, this thing, I'm going to have to like plaster that thing to my table. It just wants to jump constantly. I'm going to do this end. I've seen so many ideas with our envelopes where you take them and you create gift tag holders, all kinds of holders that you can do with these envelopes just by cutting them down to different sizes, right?
Yeah, way back when I first joined 21 years ago, we used to do what we called a bagalope. Do you remember a bagalope?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh my goodness.
Explain.
Well, you took the envelope and you turned it into a little bag. It's super easy.
I'm going to have to look that up.
Yeah. Yeah. We did it all the time.
Huh. I've never heard of that.
Oh,
okay.
Interesting.
You have 2 pieces of lemon lolly. These are going to go on the front and the back of your pocket now, right? So it's just going to kind of give it that little finished look. So I'm just going to add, I found it easier to add the adhesive right to my envelope because I want it to go the whole way around that border. All right. I'm going to put that on there. Now it may have a little bit of a buckle. So what I find I do is I put my hand inside the pocket and that'll allow me to kind of adhere it a little better. If you find like it wants to bow or buckle open a little bit, that's okay. Just put your hand down inside there and you can kind of press it together to make sure that adheres. Okay. And then I'm going to do the other side. Just remember with liquid glue, less is more. Okay. It's not gloppy. It's just a nice thin layer. And I'm going to put this side on as well. Now you've got a cute little pocket with your envelope hidden between those 2 pieces of cardstock. I have a piece of designer series paper for the front, and I actually did it so you kind of see how it like bows in the. I like kind of keep the Well, actually, I've done it both ways. I've done it where the bow is in the front or the bow is in the back. It doesn't matter. I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and keep the bow in the front this time. Add my designer paper. Right there. Now, we also are in the packet. There is this sheer ribbon. This sheer ribbon is just, oh my goodness, it's so pretty. And it comes in 3 colors. So when you get it, it's a 3-pack ribbon, 3-pack sheer pack. There's the lemon lolly. There is the bubble bath. And I'm going to let Mary Ellen say this word because I can never say it.
Azure afternoon.
There you go. I can never say azure. I can't do it. Azure. I can't say it. It's not. Yep.
Azure.
So
I always say
azure.
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 Maybe it is that.
I have no clue. So that's why I make her say it, not me. Lemon lolly, bubble bath. I got those down. This afternoon one. There you go.
Blue
Don't
afternoon.
give me fancy words.
Just do the Midwestern. It's blue afternoon.
It's blue. That blue one right there. We're giving you in the packet, we gave you a piece of lemon lolly and a piece of the bubble bath because you can interchange them. This one, you can see the lemon lolly. I'm going to do this one in the bubble bath. So it's about a 14-inch piece. All I'm doing is wrapping that around from the back to the front and then just tying a little knot. Okay. I can get my fingers to work. Tie a little knot. I slide it into place where I want it to go. Trim up my ends. Like that. There's my ribbon. Now the last piece I have is going to be my greeting. And we have a piece of basic white, and I'm using that same greeting that Mary Ellen's been using, that long one that says, "You make every day a little brighter." So I'm going to use my memento on this. Stamp that right in the center. And I've been noticing, and I wanted to mention this when you were doing yours, this cut seems to be a very popular cut where you're just cutting off like an angle of it, right?
Seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like it's a popular one. I see it frequently now. And you can kind of change it either way. Like I did mine, actually should have gone the same way, but it doesn't matter. There's whatever way you want to do it. You're just cutting like an angle to put it on the front, right?
Right.
So I'm going to use some dimensionals on the back of this. Using up all my little extra bits and pieces of dimensional here. It's one of the nice things I need to stock up on during celebration. Celebration, it's the perfect time to stock up on these things you use all the time. There is my greeting. So there's my pocket. So my cards, I just put my little cards together, kind of bow that out a little bit, and there you go. And it would fit if you had envelopes. I think you could easily fit those in there as well. It bows out pretty well. So there's your little gift box, gift pack to give someone. Isn't that cute?
Yeah, it's so cute. And honestly, the paper is celebration paper. So you could make your own envelopes with the matching designer series paper.
Oh, that's a great idea. Oh my gosh, that's a great idea. I think I might have to do that. Make little 4x4, 4¼ by 4¼ little envelopes using the DSP. That is
very cute.
You're so smart. You're so smart. We did it.
Another month. We did it. I love spending time with you, my bestie, and spending time with you, stamping people. And we hope that you enjoyed it and learned something new. And those of you who have the packets, we hope that was helpful and that you'll stamp it your way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What are we doing next month? Do you remember?
Yes. Next month, we are doing poetic expressions. At least we hope to be. We'll be presenting poetic expressions for new designs. And super excited.
It's got a does it have a hummingbird in it? It does have a hummingbird in it.
Which I love. I love hummingbirds. So
yeah, perfect. Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. This is February's Stamp It Your Way featuring the Everyday Details bundle, and we hope you enjoyed it and had as much fun as we did.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.